Does anybody think that hackers are awesome anymore? I don't know. I feel like they're kind of overrated. Um, and the reason I have this, and it's not an invite to any potential hackers out there to try and get into my you know my podcast or whatever. I mean, because if anything, you're just going to prove what I'm going to say in a few minutes. You're just going to prove me right. Um, like I had really high hopes for the group Anonymous, right? Because they seem like at least the faction that seemed to give a shit about how the oligarchy and all of that is controlling this country, and slowly but surely leading us down the road towards collapse. Anonymous seemed like like a useful group to have around, right? Because then they expose like the I don't know, the fraud or whatever from behind Scientology. I think they I don't know, they've done a lot of good things, but you would think that just with net neutrality, with the issue with that was a big deal a couple of weeks ago, and for some reason nobody's talking about it anymore. You would have thought that they would have collectively come together and made Ajit Pai, which is the head of the FCC, that they would have done something to make his life hell, or at the very least make him reverse course on his decision to try and end net neutrality. But they didn't, and it seems at this point that Anonymous and just hackers in general aren't really capable of doing anything besides being annoying. Now, I don't say this as a challenge for you guys to come after me, because I'm nobody. Making my life hell just proves my point, that you're just annoying, right? I'm sure you can do all sorts of things. I'm not saying that I doubt your skill. It just doesn't seem like you have the proper focus, right? You're so busy trying to, make a name for yourself that you don't really use your gifts for good, right? Like our country is collapsing, and it's due to a lot of really shitty people. How come you're not going after them? How come you're not making their lives hell? How come you're not putting them in a position where they either need to start doing what's best for everybody in this country? How come you're not doing that? Instead, you're trying to hack Fox News and or I don't know, fucking break into Target's fucking credit card accounts or some shit. It's just it's like yeah, okay, we get it. You can be annoying. You can steal money. You can you can do the things that you do. But how about just for once you actually do something that isn't just some sort of self-absorbed need to to show the world, oh, look what I did. I broke into the Pentagon, as though that's useful to anybody. It's not useful. Unless if you're breaking into these things and you're exposing stuff that they're trying to hide, then yeah, that's useful. But just doing it just to fucking do it, or to do it and to fucking cause some sort of mayhem, you're, I don't know. To me, that sort of stuff is it's like gnats during summertime. They just, it's just fucking annoying. And again, this is not a challenge to come fuck with my life. Because again, if you come after me, yeah, there ain't shit I can do about it. But how is coming after me proving that you're not just fucking gnats? It doesn't prove anything. Other than, oh, I don't like what he said, so I'm gonna do something. You know, if you want to prove me wrong about you guys, and I know, you know, who the fuck am I? You don't give a shit about my fucking opinion. I get it. But if you want to prove, you know, to the people listening to this that kind of, you know, agree with me, you want to prove us wrong, then do something that fucking helps. You know, do something that lets the oligarchy or the elite in this country know that they can't get away with the shit that they're fucking doing. And I don't mean, you know, finding like racy photos or some shit. I mean something that really just shuts them up completely. You know, and I don't mean any sort of like, oh, hack their car so it, you know, crashes into a fucking tree. I'm not advocating that at all. But, you know, if you're so fucking talented, then use your talents to do something for the better or for the good of society, just for once. You know, breaking into somebody's fucking, you know, some celebrity's cell phone and exposing their nude pictures. I mean, that doesn't do anything other than make you look kind of like fucking creeps. Do something that, you know, that somebody could be like, you know, I can't, you know, like if it wasn't for them, you know, our life would be shitty in this particular way. You know, that's why it's like it's depressing, especially with Anonymous, right? I know that there are different factions of Anonymous. I get it. You know, some are politically motivated, others are, you know, spend all their time on 4chan and behave like trolls. I understand that there are different factions, but at least the one that seemed like politically motivated, you would have thought that they would have done something, especially with net neutrality. And yet all you know, it's fucking crickets. You don't fucking see anything from them. And it's like, all right, great, you can put on the Guy Fawkes masks and, you know, and look, you know, I don't know, intimidating, but is that all you're capable of doing? You know, you show up at protests with your masks on and your signs, and I mean that's the biggest fucking thing you can do as far as backing a movement or changing things. Like, that's all you can fucking do. You know, it just, I don't know. It's like, can somebody with the skills that could actually fucking help? Could you actually fucking do something to actually help rather than just put on your mask and pretend to be, you know, some fucking force of good when really all you're doing is you're just, you know, like your mask at this point is like the same as the pussy hats that the women, you know, women in the Women's March wear. It's like, it's fucking pointless. It doesn't do or change anything. You know, the net neutrality thing, and I still get questions, you know, either it's from people that listen to this podcast, or, you know, family members that are still not quite, they don't quite understand net neutrality and its importance. So I thought, okay, you know what, I'm going to try and break it down in a very simple way. All right, let's say net neutrality or the internet was like the water supply, right? Everybody, you know, you go into your kitchen or your bathroom or whatever, you turn on the faucet, you expect you expect water to come out, and you expect it to come out, you know, at a regular pace or a regular amount. You know, you don't turn on your faucet and expect that, you know, it's gonna, like, the water pressure is gonna be so fucking high that it, you know, it fucking disintegrates your sink, but you also don't expect when you turn on the faucet for it to just sort of fucking drizzle out or drip out. Drizzle? Is that a fucking word? You expect a certain flow to come out of the faucet. Okay. What net neutrality did or does is it makes sure that anybody that turns on a faucet gets, the same flow or the same amount of water or the same amount of pressure. Removing net neutrality would be like if the house next to you had more money and decided, you know what, we need more water than those people next door. So, send most of the water our way and they can have a little bit. And so when they turn on their tap or whatever, the water comes flowing out just fine. But you turn on yours and it just sort of drips out. I know it's a very rudimentary or rough explanation of how net neutrality works. But I think it's a pretty good analogy. Right? Because, if you consider the internet like the water company or the water system, you expect that when you go to a site, whether it's a big name site or a startup or whatever, that you're able to get to that site and view its content at the same speed or rate as, say, if you go onto a big site like Google or some shit. You expect the same amount of time and access to those websites. Without net neutrality, big companies can basically sort of hog all the water and only let you have, a drip here and there, to the point where you get so frustrated with the dripping that you just automatically start going to their sites as just because there's no other fucking choice. I hope it makes sense at this point. Again, I know it's not the greatest of analogies, but I think it explains it pretty clearly. That with net neutrality, when everybody turns on their fucking water, the same amount of water comes out at the same fucking rate. Without net neutrality, the house next door gets all the fucking water or most of the fucking water and you get drips. That's basically it in a nutshell. But getting back on topic here, as far as anonymous and just computer hackers in general, I fucking respect your skill. Because fuck, I struggle on just the basic shit when it comes to computers. But it seems like, like all hackers have become it's just gnats. Can you do something that helps everybody and not just, your bank account to grow or your reputation to be to increase? Can you do something that actually benefits people? Can you just do something that would actually help versus just constantly trying to take people's identities or break into their fucking into their photo or their photo albums on their phone? Can you do something other than just act like fucking like children that found their fucking dad's gun? Can you do something that actually fucking helps people? I know it's possible because I don't know the full story with how Anonymous exposed Scientology or whatever. I don't know the fucking story, but I do know that whatever they did was actually good. It actually opened people's eyes to whatever the fuck was happening. I know that there are stories that they've done other things that have actually been of benefit. So why not continue that? breaking into a celebrity's fucking photo album and showing their their nude pictures. I mean, the only people that are really fucking impressed or that are really like looking for that are fucking creeps. Can you just do something that would actually help society? I don't know. Again, I mean, don't take my criticism as like some sort of invitation to show me that, you can say that. Well, watch what happens with this. I mean, I get it. You can fucking, you can make my life hell, but that really doesn't fucking prove anything other than what I said. That you could just be, fucking an annoyance rather than helpful. I don't know. Even though I think it's pretty clear that I'm just trying to fucking, get you, motivate hackers to do something worthwhile, I can only imagine that there's still somebody out there that's gonna fucking be all fucking pissed off that I didn't just automatically bow down to the power of fucking hackerism or whatever it is. It's just, like, I get it. You got fucking skills. You got skills that I could probably never fucking have. But coming after me, that's fucking stupid. I mean, yeah, it'll make my fucking, make my day or whatever, or week or month or year or the rest of my fucking life miserable, but it still just sort of proves my point, right? I don't know how many times I'm gonna fucking say it, by the way, I know this is, I'm gonna release this podcast on Thursday, but it is Wednesday, and the reason for that is because I have shit to do tomorrow, and I don't have time to give you guys a podcast, so I decided to do it a little early, but I'm not going to release it until Thursday, so I could have fucking not even said anything, and you guys never would have known, but, that's just the kind of honesty I like to bring to the table in this podcast. I don't know. Oh, God. Oh, you know what? Here's a little fucking tidbit of, or, a little entrance into my life. I grew up with this guy. I'm not going to say his name. I grew up with this guy. We went to school and, we were pretty good friends. And then, when I moved to California, I lost contact with the guy, and and every now and then I'll do a fucking search, either Facebook or just Google or something, trying to find a dude, because we were pretty fucking close, and for the longest time I couldn't fucking find him, and then the other day I did a search using his entire fucking name. I mean, because he has a pretty unique first and last name. And so I used it. I actually included his middle name, and it turns out that the reason that I haven't heard from this guy is that I found out like a year or two after I left Boston. He had fucking, he committed an armed robbery of a bank, and basically he's been in federal penitentiary or whatever ever since, which kind of fucking sucks, but at the same time it actually doesn't fucking surprise me, because I could already, I mean, I was on the same fucking track as him. I did a lot of fucking knuckleheaded shit when I was a kid, but he was always like way more extreme than I was. I would have to say that probably about 70 to 80% of fist fights that I've been in were because of him. Just wanting to fucking, he had a really quick temper. And unfortunately, his fucking temper would always drag me into it. The few times where law enforcement could have been involved, as far as for, in my life, he has always been, at the forefront of creating that or generating that sort of negative interaction with me. So, it doesn't surprise me that he went and did that shit, because I remember right before we moved to California, he was trying to convince me to help him break into this fucking gun shop, because he was convinced that we could get in there and fucking like we would just have fucking like kids in a candy store, as far as guns and shit. And I mean, he was trying hard to convince me to do it, and I was just like, like, I mean, first of all, I don't really need a fucking gun. I mean, yeah, Dorchester isn't really, well, it's changed now, but, it used to be kind of rough. But it was never like that fucking rough, you know what I mean? So, I just wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't down, to be honest. It seemed too goddamn risky, but he was convinced that it would be easy, and I was just like, nah, like, I'm good. I like fucking being able to go wherever I want, whenever I want. I don't like the idea of somebody telling me when to fucking get up, and where I can shit and who I have to fucking live with. That's not for me. And I mean, luckily he didn't fucking do it, but it turns out that when I left, he decided to up the ante on the crazy shit and attempted to rob a bank. So, I mean, I feel sad because it's my friend, but at the same time, it's like, maybe, like, I don't know. He was headed down that fucking road anyway, so I'm just, like, I look at it as like, okay, I hated leaving Boston, but, thank God I fucking did, because, it's a high probability that he might have tried to fucking convince me to go along with that shit. And, because I was so fucking impressionable. Is that the word? I don't know, but yeah, it fucking sucks, but at least now it's like, alright, I get it. I get why I can't find this dude. Apparently he was like sentenced to, I don't know, I think it was like 30 or 40 years or some shit. So, I left when I was 16. So, about, he's either going to be like 56 or 66 when he gets out. I don't know. But yeah, it fucking sucks, but at the same time, it's like, well, that guy kind of needed to be taken off the street anyway. I don't know what I know I've been doing the fucking, the solution guy. What fucking what problem should I solve today or during this fucking podcast? Oh, what, before I get to that, I took my son to get his haircut, and it always fucking it cracks me up when we go to this particular fucking place to get his haircut, because like, they specialize in just kids, right? And it's always funny watching the people that have those kids that they just are 100% against sitting in that chair and getting their hair cut, and just to watch them fucking struggle. It's hilarious to me. I mean, most people would feel like, oh, that's it fucking sucks, or I feel bad, or somebody needs to shut that fucking kid up, or whatever. Those would be normal fucking people. Me, on the other hand, I find that shit hilarious because it's like, well, you know, especially if it's like, if it's not the first haircut. I get why kids would sort of lose their shit on the first time around, because it's like, oh, you know, like, what the hell is that? You're fucking coming at my head with scissors and some kind of weird machine, and it's making noises, and, you know, and my only experience with other people doing things to me is probably, you know, is the doctor fucking giving me shots. So I 100% understand why kids lose their shit, because it's like, I don't know what to fucking expect here. This is scary. But it's funny watching the people that, you know, that this isn't their first haircut, and they haven't quite figured it out, like, how to get them to fucking relax. One of the things I did with my son was I took him to get his first haircut when he was like 2 or 3. I mean, he didn't even need a fucking haircut. I just took him so that he would be used to that experience, you know. And I had the barber, or what, you know, I don't know. Do they still call themselves barbers? Fucking stylist. Are you really a stylist if you're if all you're doing is giving fades and shit? What the hell? Why is my nose so whistly today? I'm sure you guys can fucking hear it. It's annoying me. If it's annoying you, it's fucking multiplied by like 1,000,000 for me. I fucking can't stand weird fucking body noises and stuff. But what the hell was I talking about? Fucking I took him in and I had the barber, even though he didn't need she gave him a fucking trim with with the scissors and shit. But I told her, I was like, can you just turn on the fucking clippers and and bring it close to his ear and so he can hear it and fucking understand that nothing, like, this isn't something to be fucking afraid of. Now obviously this isn't going to work for everybody's kid, but it worked for me, because it's like, all right, just if you can get them used to the okay, we come here, you sit in this fucking chair, they fucking cut your shit, you hear these noises, there's these experiences, there's other people fucking around, it was all just sort of to kind of get him used to that, to that being a thing, so that the next time and the next time and the next time is just like, oh, okay, I know, we're going to the barbershop, nothing's gonna fucking happen, there's nothing to be afraid of. So it's always funny watching the people that haven't quite figured out like the recipe or remedy for soothing their kids or getting them to deal with rough moments. I even though I find it fucking hilarious, there are times where I was like, what, I really want to help, but I know how people are about their kids. They don't want some fucking random person, even though it's obvious that the random person is a parent themselves. They don't like being told that their parenting is that it fucking sucks. They don't like to hear it. So I don't bother to I gotta blow my nose or some shit. It's driving me up the fucking wall. Hold on a second. Alright, I'm back. I don't think I solved the problem, so we're just gonna have to power through it. But anyway, so what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was at the barbershop with my son, and this lady came in, and she can't, she has two. I don't know. Well, there was 3 people with her. 2 of them were these very small children, and the other was this girl. I couldn't tell. She sort of had that look like maybe she could be a teenager, but at the same time maybe she's a fucking adult. I don't know. So they come in, and the lady has 2 little boys. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, it's 2 little boys. And they're dressed very fucking I don't know. They reminded me of fucking bankers. Because like the one kid, he had like like a fucking vest on and like a sweater vest, and he had like a little button-up shirt underneath it. He's very fucking dapper for like a 3 or 4-year-old, and the other kid had on this fucking I don't know, like it's like the kind of sweaters you imagine fucking people that go to Harvard wear. It looks kind of like a nurse's smock. Is that a word, smock? But it's a fucking sweater. I mean, either they went to get their fucking pictures taken, or they were on their way to get their pictures taken, or their mom's a fucking cunt. And I'm guessing that she's probably a cunt. And the reason that I'm guessing this is because the little boy, the littler one with the fucking sweater vest and the fucking button up, I don't know, he was like, he was running all over the fucking place, and he kept like in this fucking this fucking kid salon that I take my son to. Like they have the fucking the chairs, right? They have 2 normal chairs, and then they have like 3 or 4 that like the fucking chairs are actually like like those fucking toy car, or not toy cars, but those cars that fucking kids can sit in, right? And like every time his older brother, his older brother would fucking get into one of the fucking chairs, this little fucking twat would come and demand that he that the brother get out of the fucking chair and he get into it, right? And of course his mother just absolutely fucking obeyed everything this little fucking twat said. But it wasn't that convinced me this lady is a fucking cunt. What convinced me was when this little boy became, I guess, more annoying than usual. She was like, like, okay, what the fuck was his name? Because it's kind of the whole point. Oh God, it's the crux of this fucking story. Huxley. His fucking name is Huxley. And she was like, okay, Huxley, fucking, it's time. I mean, she didn't say fucking, but she's like, it's time to to mind your manners or some fucking shit. And I was just like, you named your kid Huxley? Like, you could just tell. Like, I mean, he looked like a fucking banker, and I wasn't convinced that convinced of that until I heard his fucking name. Doesn't that sound like a fucking banker's name, Huxley? It sounds like a banker / fucking sociopath. And he had this look on his face. It just, I don't know. The kid rubbed me the wrong fucking way. And I know I know that the normal fucking thing is to be like, oh, kids are so precious. But there's just some kids that you look at and you're like, that guy, that one is gonna fucking, he's gonna force fucking some lady to watch him fucking rub one out while he fucking lights a cigar and he fires people just for fucking fun. You could just tell that's the fucking path he's on. I mean, he's got with a name like fucking Huxley. There's only one path he can fucking go to. It's got to be fucking banking, or a hedge fund manager, or some fucking ridiculous shit that just attracts fucking sociopaths. And I mean, the other brother, I don't know what his fucking name was, but he had some fucking promise. I mean, aside from the shitty fucking sweater he was wearing, he had this look like, like he couldn't believe that he had a fucking brother named Huxley. He kind of looked like the black sheep of the family. That he'll put on the outfit and the fucking smile, but there's no fucking way he's getting into finance when he's a kid. He's just like, nah, I'm either gonna fucking play fucking, football, or I'm gonna fucking dig ditches for a living. There's no fucking way. I'm gonna become a fucking bank manager or some shit, and you could just see that little fucking Huxley there. Like I couldn't fuck, like as soon as, I didn't like him when he fucking came in. I didn't like the fucking clothes he was wearing. But when I heard his fucking name, I was like, all right, your mother's a fucking cunt and you're gonna be a sociopath. And then the lady was like, oh, it's time for your son's haircut. And then I stopped fucking thinking about him. But it's like you can recognize fucking sociopaths even at that fucking age. Fucking Huxley. Who names their kid Huxley? It's a stupid fucking name. That's either like a family name, or she was purposely like, let's give him a fucking name that just sounds like a fucking like a wealthy fucking bank manager or some shit. It just, I don't know. I hope this is how fucked up of a person I am. I actually hope that Huxley, I don't know, fucking, I hope that like when he starts being interested in girls or boys or maybe both, I hope that girls instantly recognize that he's just a fucking creep in the making, and he never, like, he ends up being like a 30 or a 40-year-old fucking virgin, that like, I don't know, fucking builds boats in a bottle or some shit, or fucking flies fucking kites. Has anybody seen these grown fucking men out there flying fucking kites? What the fuck is wrong with you? Kites, like I've taken, my kids, they when they were fucking small, they thought kites were so fucking amazing. So yeah, I would take them to do that. But you'll see fucking people out there with, or you'll see grown ass men. You rarely see women do this shit. But you see grown ass men all the time. They're just out there by them fucking cells, and they got their little fancy fucking kite. The fuck is wrong with you? I don't know. Have I solved any fucking problems? Because I like I said earlier, I like to be the solution guy, but I don't know. I guess. Okay, here's my fucking solution. Don't name your kid fucking Huxley. And if you're a grown-ass man, stop flying fucking kites. Alright? You leave the kid shit to the kids. I get it, Kites can be fun. I 100% understand. But you look fucking creepy. Especially if there are other kids around flying kites. Alright? That's my fucking solution today. Don't be a creepy fucking kite flyer. Anyway, alright, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I hope you guys are having a good week. Most likely I will not be giving you a podcast on Friday, so this one will probably be the last one of the week, and so I'll end up having to talk to you next week. I hope you have a good weekend. And like always, don't take any shit. Go fuck yourself. Peace.